4 little rolls of jewelry in here.
You have 35 minutes, just so you know.
Okay, 4 little rolls of jewelry in here, and some bracelets, and then I have a tray of earrings and a tray of rings that I carry in a, actually I use a casserole holder. And I put the 2 trays on top of each other and zip it. So when I go to the door, I have those 2 things and that's it. And everyone's like, do you need help? Do you want us to send someone out to help you? And I'm like, nope, this is it. And when I go in, I lay my rolls on the table like this. And all I put out for people to play with is hostess only items. Okay, and that way they're in there and they're playing with them and they know that those are really special right from the get-go. So it gives them something to do, but it also, I love the roller method. I know some of you that are coming over from another company are having a hard time like buying into it or translating, but I'm telling you guys, it is so fantastic. Because these rolls of jewelry are in my car almost all the time. So when I go to happy hour or I go wherever, and the girls say, how's that jewelry thing going? I go, you want to go get it? Anytime is an easy party, really easy party. Okay, so what I do is I give everybody a wish list. So pretend you have wish lists. If you do have paper to write on, you might want to write. Some of the things you might want to do is do some bullet points almost. Like as you, I want to give you a little backstory because you are reps. Everybody's a rep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk as if you're guests, but I want to give you a little bit of the backstory, which is ideally when you're a salesperson, you ideally want to turn a want into a need. And I want you to be paying attention as to where I'm doing that, okay? So what I mean by that is somebody might come to a show thinking, I'll buy because it's my friend, you know, but what kinds of things are being said that are making them feel like, well, I don't just want it, now I need it, okay? The other thing that I want you to be paying attention to is where I'm handling objections before they happen. That's the very best place to handle objections is before they even happen, so that I'm not hearing like, oh, I don't ever wear jewelry, I only wear this, or I only wear real jewelry, or, you know, I never go anywhere. Okay, so those are just, I gave you three, where you'll see what I do about that to make sure that that isn't an issue, okay? Because really, romancing the product is a really big part of our job. And I feel like maybe the in-home show is passe. I feel like the in-home show is in a lot of ways getting a no or talk to the hand, like you said. We have to get the jewelry on people, but this younger up-and-coming generation, it is such a gift what we have because they adore jewelry. It is such a gift. What I used to be in was a home decorating product, candles. It's not where it is. You know, they were done with that. You know, they're just not doing candles, but they love fashion. So whenever we can put fashion into the mix and work as personal stylists, they're going to want to hire us. And I'm like, you know, personal stylists cost easily $100, $150 an hour. Not only do I do it for free, but I leave you with free jewelry when I'm done. You know, so that's really kind of the way that you want to present yourself. Okay, so first thing I'll do is I'll start to unroll the jewelry. And I'll sort of entice them with a couple of pieces, and they're kind of looking and they're just dying to get in here. But I don't let them because it's suspenseful and it causes them to all give me their attention like you guys are. And I'll say, you know, when I took on this job 5 years ago, I was nervous. I was really nervous taking on something new at my age. But one of the things I was really proud of myself for was that I feel like it's keeping me young. It's keeping me young because it's keeping me learning. But it's also keeping me young because they send like stylists in to work with us and they share all these fashion tips with us, and I'm going to share some of them with you. And before I even get started, did you ever hear that they say ideally, in a perfect world, about 80 to 85% of your wardrobe budget should be spent on accessories? Had you ever heard that before? It includes your shoes and purses. Then people go, ooh. But you got to test me on this. Really, this is like a challenge for me. You have to test me on this. Whatever you do in the last 3 minutes before you leave your house every day is what you're going to get compliments on all day. Shoes, purse, jewelry. It truly is. And when you think about it, if you think about someone that you think is just always looks really sharp, they're like never on the what not to wear list, okay? It's traditional, classic pieces, and they're just dressing them up with trendy jewelry, trendy shoes, trendy purses. That's really the answer to everything. It'll absolutely amaze you. I've always loved clothes, didn't know a lot about jewelry. When I started doing this job, I thought, okay, first day out, I'm going to see what happens. put some jewelry pieces on. I go out, I got compliments right away. I gotta tell you now, I'm a little bit of a hoe. So I went from no jewelry to like just loving it. And I was leaving, I'm from the Midwest and we have a big shopping center there called, grocery store called Deerbergs. Like you guys have Publix, you know? And I remember I was leaving Deerbergs one day and I truly said to myself, not out loud, but I said to myself, you are so lucky because you get compliments every single day. Almost like I kind of take it for granted now. It's not me, it's the jewelry. When I walked into this restaurant tonight, they go, you're with the jewelry party. I go, how did you know? She goes, you're sparkling. You know, but it's like we really, really stand out like we're in our jewelry. So, very fun. Okay, now I gave y'all a wish list, and I gave you wish lists for a couple of reasons. One is because it's really important to me that you write things down. I go all across the country doing things like this, and would you agree that the taste in Florida is probably different than the taste in California or the taste in Texas? Okay, my CEO pays attention, we pay attention. It's really important to us what you like. So I just encourage you to write things down. Doesn't mean you're going to buy them, just means that we'll revisit them later. The other reason I love for you to write things down is because we have this really magical pricing. It'll take you a little bit to get your head around, especially if you're drinking. But it's like the most exciting thing. I have to tell you, one of the #1 reasons I took this job was because of this, about what I'm about to tell you. I started this job 5 years ago at the height of the recession, and people were telling me it just grew like wildfire because they're like, I don't feel like I'm inviting my friends to spend money. I feel like I'm inviting my friends to this really great sale. Okay? So here's the way it works. We have 3 different price levels. And the first one is if someone chooses to spend between $30 and $59 in regular price, then they get to go back. This is them walking back and get any item they want, valued up to what they spent for $14. So let me explain, because again, you're drinking this beer and stuff. We bundle. Like, what's your Time Warner White House? Yeah. We have Charter in Missouri. Went over like a lead balloon in Georgia. They're like, what's Charter? I'm like, we bundle like Charter. And like everyone in Missouri laughs and everyone in, they just looked at me, which I'm used to at this point, looking at me funny. But anyway, but we bundle. Okay, so let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to buy a couple of $15 earrings. You buy 2 pair of $15 earrings. You spend $30. Then you get to go back and get any $30 item you want for $14. Get it? Right at level 1, which is our least best deal, if that's the right way to say it. You're getting items for better than half price, minimum. Okay? Level 2, if you choose to spend between $60 and $89, then we give you 2 items for $14. Now you see what's happening here? We're adding items, but what we're really doing is adding tremendous value. Because at this level, you're getting minimum $120 worth of jewelry for $28. Isn't that so cool? And this week, we're going to throw in a third for free. I know. Stay in your seats. Don't storm the stage. And then the biggest level of all, hard not to go there, is 90 and over. And then we're going to do 3 for $14, and we're going to throw in a 4th for free. Now, 78% of people in the world are visual learners. So I'm going to do a little visual for you, okay? This was me in my old life. Now I buy jewelry almost every day, or win jewelry almost every day. But let's say you're like, I haven't bought jewelry in a while. I'm in the market. I'm going to get 5 pair of earrings, 1 for every day of the work week. Okay? And let's make them $20 because we have pages and pages of $20 earrings. So you go, here I go. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. I'm delighted. I bought 5 things. I spent $100. Okay? That's when you remember. I spent $100 in real money. So now I get to go get that $100 necklace for $14. That second $100 thing for $14. That third $100 thing for $14. And what the heck? Just because I'm nice, I'm going to throw the 4th in for free. So for $142, you're getting 9 items, $500 worth of jewelry. When you divide that out, it's like unbelievable. Isn't that phenomenal?
That's crazy.
Raise your hand if you ever spend $100 at the store. Target? You go up to the counter, you take out all of your stuff, and the sales guy goes, hey, good job. You spent $100. Now you can go back at any 4 items in the store, $100 items for $14 free. Would you be excited? We'd be up there with our flat screens and everything, right? And one of the things I love to tell people, because it taught me a lesson, because I'm a mom and I have kids that are like, now my youngest is like 25, but I was doing one of my first showings with Park Lane, this little 22-year-old group of girls. They're like buying all this jewelry. And a little part of me in my heart was like, oh, they're spending $142. Well, they taught me the biggest lesson, because one of them goes, Mary Grace, I just can't thank you enough. I am just starting out in my work life, and I am able, when you divide this out, these pieces were like $17 a piece. That's cheaper than Claire's. For this unconditionally guaranteed jewelry, I'm going to have forever and then some, and quality pieces that I never would have thought I could have. Now, it almost gave me like goosebumps, and I thought, it's not the money, it's the value. It's the value, and that is what I am so proud to be able to share is value. It's amazing. Okay, so I've been keeping you waiting long enough. This one is called Bliss. I tell everyone, write it down. It's a staple piece. We call it a staple piece in the industry. You're going to find yourself reaching for this all the time. Now, I'm going to use, I want to say Armina. Is that right? Indira. I'm going to use Indira, because I heard everyone does. No. I actually say that at my shows, but know your audience, know your audience. Okay. So this is called Bliss, okay? And the reason that I chose Indira to show this piece is two reasons, okay? First of all, she gets to start playing with a white shirt on. You see what jewelry does to the shirt? Isn't it amazing? One of my favorite ways that a stylist said it, she goes, think about this. You can have the most beautifully wrapped present, no tape marks, gorgeous expensive wrapping paper, but the present still doesn't look finished if you don't have the bow. And your jewelry is your bow. And she looked perfectly adorable before, but if I take this long necklace away, you're going to miss it. And I'll tell you why. First thing, long necklace. Draws the eye down, makes you look taller, takes off 10 to 15 pounds sideways. Literally what happens when we walk into a room, people check us out. And generally the eye is trained to stop right about here at the widest part of the body from the front. If you have a long necklace on or a scarf, it keeps that visual line going, and it's very elongating and slimming, okay? The other thing that I wanted to show with Indira is very often, now that's obviously a classic statement piece, but very often someone will wear a small piece of jewelry. It might have religious significance, sentimental value, something that's real, and they wear it almost every day. And almost at every showing, you guys, I have someone, and I'm like, here's the deal. Here's this piece that's so important to you, and rightly so, because jewelry very, 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 has a very strong emotional connection in a lot of instances. But here's this piece that's so important to you, and everybody has started to look past it because it's become like your uniform. Did you notice when I framed that piece how it drew additional attention to the piece? So seriously, one of the most fun things that's happened to me is people come back all the time and they say they started to get so many compliments on their mother's necklace or their little cross or whatever because of the way that they changed it up all the time. And that was always the idea, right? So that's really fun. So I love to show that for that. Now, don't you kind of miss it a little bit? You're like, oh, bring your Solera. What's wrong with you? Okay. And I was just teasing you, obviously. Okay. So, jewelry shows pretty in a book. Still going. Pretty in a book, prettier in real life, but prettiest of all where? On a body. Did you actually know that part of that, like I told you, I just have learned so much. Part of the artisan's art is the way the warmth of the skin will actually bring out the beauty of the jewelry. And, I mean, have you ever tried to buy jewelry from the internet? You're not going to do it, right? I mean, it's really hard to buy jewelry from the internet because we need to see it on because that's part of the impact. And that's one thing I'm really proud of is we do, like, I feel like people are kind of done with the in-home show. I mean, it's great when we get the girls together, but you say show and whatever. But honestly, I mean, do you agree you're not done with trying on jewelry? Girls have to try on their jewelry. So another reason that I was so quick to accept this job is we do private appointments and personal showings. Private appointments and personal showings. 2 or 3 people around a kitchen table. You saw the bag I bring in. In a restaurant, I've done it on people's desks at lunchtime or after work. I've done it in a kindergarten classroom where that's kind of fun, they announce over the loudspeaker, the jewelry party will now begin. I'm going to go start with the pledge. It's so fun. But really, like, we go anywhere with our little bag of jewelry. Don't overthink it, because, you know, people will pay personal stylists like $150 an hour. I do it for free, and then I give you free stuff when I leave. It's like absolutely amazing how much we give you. Now this is one that until I saw it on somebody else, I never would have gotten it. And then I saw it on somebody and I was just all about it. This is called Avoir. Okay, I'm gonna do it on. Is it Nicole?
Yes.
Nicole is your jewelry party name. That way you can go home and you can say, Jess didn't buy anything but Nicole. She did it again. She did it again. Yeah. Yeah. But this is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Isn't that gorgeous? Avoir. And you see how, you know, you guys
Stand
all.
up and let everybody see you.
This is so unusual for one of my shows, but every single one of you is already wearing Park Lane. That is just really something else. Usually there's some new people at the showing. So fun. Love it.
Did you really think they'd come with Leah Sophia?
And now look at same little pink top, different necklace, whole different look. Okay, that's why jewelry will save you money and keep you on trend. It's really, really cool. Also, everybody look at Jess. Well, look at your neighbors right here. Mine's not showing too much right now, but look at your neighbors right here. Okay, look at that, look at that, look at that. So beautiful. This is called our décolletage. Like our collarbone, our shoulders. It's considered one of our most beautiful body parts. Truly, very, very vulnerable, beautiful part of a woman. One of the last things to age, you know, we might get like age spots, but as far as sagging, that takes a while. I tell everyone I don't want to offend, but I have little boobs, but they're like 32 long. So a very, very, very pretty part of a woman. So they recommend that we decorate it. Also, 8 out of 10 men would say that this part of us is sexier than cleavage. Okay? So we want to draw attention to that beautiful part of us. And you know, like see highlight over there? That is actually that color, just a little bit of trivia. The color coral is flattering on just about everybody. So it's a great like bridesmaid's choice and stuff too. Okay? But that's beautiful highlight. So so if you look at, so you're supposed to do statement necklaces, they'll draw attention down from the chin and up from the tummy to this really, really beautiful part of a girl. And you guys know, because I can tell you're all really stylish, but those statement necklaces, sometimes people go, that's just for really dressy. No. The big thing now is to wear it to the grocery store, you know? You do a skinny jeans with boots, big flannel shirt, and then put your statement necklace. That's all the rage. They are not just for dress up anymore. I've always kind of felt like that anyway. I like to make life special. So I always thought like, I would get my china out for every night with the kids sometimes and they could wash it. Didn't want to do it when just I was there because then I have to watch it. Okay, now I'm going to change up my look. This is a really favorite piece of mine. I told you about the unconditional guarantee, right? This is called Glam and Go. I personally call it the lazy girl's answer to layering, okay? Just one piece, throw it on, you're good to go. One quick clasp behind the neck too, which is really fun. So you just put it on, totally changes the whole outfit. Don't I look so much cuter now? Yeah. So much cuter. Now one thing, I know what I need to do. I sell a zillion of these. Everybody seems to have their favorite, like everybody seems to be like a necklace person predominantly, or earrings or bracelets. I'm definitely a bracelet girl. I absolutely love my bracelets. In fact, when I heard what this was called, I was all over it. Do you know what this is called? When you put all different... If you do this, it's called a really nice sale for me. But yeah, this is called an arm party. And as soon as I heard that, I was like all over it. I thought that was so fun. And you guys, y'all need to Facebook friend me. Because we have a lot of fun doing this. Like people will put pictures of their arm party of the day on there or whatever, and you'll get likes and everything, and other people will copy you. It's really, really fun, and I might send you free jewelry. You never know. And this whole part of this will make sense to you. Your wrist, your fingers, all of that is part of what we refer to as your expressive zone, and you're supposed to decorate it. And if you don't believe me, did you kind of find yourself watching my hands and my, that's like, I realized like I have a really long last name, Lewandowski, and like when we were refinancing, the lady that kept handing us the papers across the table, and like she had this beautiful rings on, And I just like was very engaged with her hands and her rings, and that's like what you find. It brings people a lot of joy when you go ahead and put some arm purdies and stuff on your espresso zone. Little tidbit of style too, your watch should never stand alone. You should always have a bracelet with your watch. All these years. Bracelet was lonely. And I absolutely love this one. This is called Serena. Not supposed to play favorites, but I think this is probably my favorite bracelet because I can pile them on in all different colors. Love it. Now this one is called Flare. I sell a zillion of these. For one reason, they fit everybody. You put it on over your wrist bone, squish it or fatten it to fit you. Don't be afraid to manipulate it. Gives you like the bangle look without the bangle annoyance. This in itself, huge fashion trend right now, open-ended bangles. Did you know that very often trends have like a functional reason? Do you know why the open-ended bangles are so popular right now? Yeah, because we keyboard so much in our society, and they won't bang on your keyboard. You know, so people love that because they don't have to take their bracelets off at work. Flare is awesome. It's got the bangle look. Also comes in yellow gold, and I sell a lot of these. This is called Encircle. It's kind of part of that minimalist look too. The minimalist jewelry, like put a little piece on, and you know, just a little bit of sparkle on your arm. So very fun. Okay, now I always spend a little bit of time on pearls. They're timeless. They're vintage. They write poetry about pearls. Pearls bring out the luminosity in a girl's skin. But quite honestly, what you want to avoid is a pearl necklace, pearl earrings, and a pearl bracelet all together. That's going to give you the Barbara Bush look. Really, it's not a good look. But what you do want to do to keep modern is to like mix your pearl with metals, okay? And there's literally a look out there called Sweet Street. And what it is, you know what I'm talking about, it's like taking a harsher material and softening it. So like black leather is kind of a hard material, but you'll see it now like in a pencil skirt partnered with a softer material like chiffon. This is that kind of look. You'll go into a sporty store and you'll see it showing like metal with like a pearl. Military style jacket with a pearl button and a little bit of lace on it. So menswear inspired clothing, very, very in if you want to get the look right. If you're going to do a suit, then you want to do your statement necklace and add some femininity to it. Okay, so this one is called Matinee. Write these down for sure because they are this same exact strand of pearls in the 1980s. Park Lane sold them for $85, and today they're only $45, and they're better. They're individually knotted on silk, and that's how hard we work to make sure prices are really what's the word I'm looking for? On point, yeah, competitive. And our company is totally debt free, and we buy a lot of jewelry. So everybody wants to deal with the cash on the barrelhead company that buys a lot. So we're able to get the best deals. I truly had a real jeweler's wife. She bought all the pearls from us. She said she couldn't believe that we could do that. It was really neat. Okay, so this is called Matinee. We have these little things called snap rings. Okay, I'll get one out in a second. But I love this because it gives you options. So if you don't want to do the twice over your head thing, you can just snap it like that. Fun, right? They admit I'm easily used, but watch this. Do a little rosette. Just made a whole new necklace. Hold your applause till the end. I was doing a show and a girl goes, "Look what I did, Mary Grace. I saw this on the cover of Vogue, so I copied it and made a choker." And I said to her, kind of cocky, "Are you the jewelry lady?" No. Get over yourself. No, I was impressed. You can do that.
Talk later, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's do something like that. Now, a little known fact, I love to share this because I love trivia anyway, but Madeleine Albright, famous politician, what people don't know about her is she has an extensive jewelry collection, mostly brooches, but she wrote a book about her jewelry. She even has a little traveling museum of her jewelry. Guess what her number one reason is for having so much jewelry? Her number one reason.
It makes her feel pretty.
Conversation starter. Conversation starter. And you'll find that, you could be just being shy at a cocktail party and someone will start the conversation about your jewelry, or I literally have people that are in sales tell me, when you go in, and it's called the soft approach, And they said you don't want to right away talk about what you're selling, but you want to start a relationship. And sometimes you're almost nervous to talk about something too personal, like if they have kids or whatever, because what if they cut in or whatever. And they said, but when you start things over jewelry, it's a really soft approach. I went down and did a showing for a sorority in Missouri, and I did my due diligence before I went down. I was reading articles, and one article said, more than one, it was like over and over, said when you're interviewing for a job, wear a statement piece of jewelry. They said nothing too over the top, but something that will start a conversation and they'll remember you. So it's really cool. That's all the things you didn't know that jewelry does for you. Okay, now with a strand of pearls too. This one is called Fashionable. We have two different things in here right now. Oh, what I wanted to say about the conversation starter though too is when somebody comes up to you, seriously, tell me if this has ever happened to you. I know it's happened to all of us. Anybody ever tell you something that they like something you were wearing?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever tell somebody else that?
Yes.
Did you ever go to get it and it wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't have your size or whatever? Okay, here's the really cool thing. It's so fun. So when someone says, oh my gosh, I like your necklace, it's so fun that you can say, oh, I have my own personal lady. I'll call her right up. She'll come to you. Not only will she get you this necklace, but she'll get you a whole bunch more stuff for your money. That's how we work. And then because you're the one that, called me up to get me to where I needed to be or whatever, I'm going to give you more free jewelry because you just brought us all together. It's like a win-win situation. Okay, this is called Fashionable. Again, in the industry, we refer to it as a staple piece. Now I'm going to do this on Rachel because Nate Berkus says, ladies, you need to mix your metals. If you're not mixing your metals, you're looking old-fashioned and out of it. You got to mix them, and you just got to do it like you mean it. And I've actually never done this particular mix before, but I thought that would look really fun, and it does, okay? So that's called Fashionable. So about the conversation starter thing, we're going to go back to that again.
Too long.
You could take your pearls, or you could take your jewelry, and every single day it looks different. Like you could just do this pearl a different way for 5 days, and it's going to be a conversation starter. I've had people say, work is so much more fun since you started selling us the jewelry. And they said, even one of the things that has cracked me up since the day I started selling jewelry is how much men love jewelry. Honest. They really do. And it's kind of a strange thing almost. Like, they'll complain about us buying other things, but most of them don't mind the jewelry because they feel like we're trying to look nicer for them too, which is really nice. Plus they see the deals or whatever. Okay, this is called Fashion Forward. This is one in the book that just looks like a flat black, but can you see come into life how absolutely gorgeous that is? Again, a staple piece. See, you can never have too much jewelry. Oh, looks good. I used to be the person that would maybe do the one on top. She doesn't even know how good you look. You look so much better than what I got here. I say that too, but again, know your audience. Know your audience. Yeah. Okay. Now, and I know we're doing it short here. I only have like 35 minutes. I could probably talk forever, but this is what I did learn to do though is you can kind of feel when you're losing your audience, and I learned to read their body language and stuff. So I've learned to go through a lot of this faster or begin to unroll it and let them play. And then even as I'm just still among them, saying, oh, here's another fun thing. So they've already started looking and all that because people kind of want, in and out. So I don't deviate from the roller method. Even if people ask me to, if they're like, could you just do a little display and we'll do an open house? I'm like, you know what? It's just not as impactful. It's not as fun for everybody. And they miss the pricing, they miss the fashion facts. I said, it's really just better. I said, I'll do 3 different little figures if you want, through the hours or whatever. But this is really what we're all about. Very famous for our magnet pieces. This one's called Imagine. So fun because, you can wear it long. You guys know this. Little just housekeeping thing. With your magnets, it's better to pull them side to side than straight apart. Increases the life of the magnet. You can make it short, you can make it long. You can get the bracelet involved. You guys know all this stuff. It's you have magic. You want it because it's a salesman's dream to have something to like talk about. They loved that I did this last night. If you have a little bit of a shoplifting problem, you can just whip it on through the store and pick up a couple things. So you love when things have more than one use. And also, I'm telling
you gotta know you're proud.
Yeah. I don't do that at the local prison. But I sold one to Winona Ryder. This is the best gift too. Oh, incidentally, top 3 gifts in the world: candy, flowers, and jewelry. And this is the best gift because it's such a one-upper. Like someone will open it. Oh, thank you, you got me a candle. Then they'll open mine and then watch what else it does. It does this and it does this and it does this, and it's like such the one-upper. It gets the most attention of the night. One of the things that's really fun too is, if you love to decorate or you love like flower arranging or nature or anything, you'll find that a lot of the little tricks of the trade is like, it's all about symmetry, like doing things in odd numbers, whatever. So we put time into that. And it just shocked me that my whole life, like we run around with this same face our whole life. And no one had ever told me that there's a specific type of earring that's going to bring out my features the best. And it was fascinating to me. So that's some of the things that we do when we can do personal stylists. And basically what you want to do is you basically want to mirror the shape of your face. So if you have a round face, you're going to look really good in a big round earring. And that's when I'll choose someone that has a round face and I'll do the swirl earring next to them. And you guys, part of what our job that is so fun is that they think that I'm going to say stuff like that because I'm a salesperson. But that's when the person across the table, I go, don't take my word for it. And they'll go, it really does look really good. And when they look in the mirror, you'll even see them get a little color in their necks. They know they look good, and it's really fun. So one of my favorite things that's happened is people will start to wear something they normally wouldn't have worn before. And I tell a lot through stories, and they're true stories, but you're welcome to steal my stories. But I had a teacher friend that said, she piped up at the show and she said, you guys, it's so true. She goes, I've been teaching for 15 years. I wear my hair the same way every day. She goes, I get up, I put it in a clip, that's it. She goes, all week, different people kept saying, did you get bangs? Did you get highlights? They couldn't. And she goes, oh, it's because I'm wearing earrings. And she used to only wear studs, and she started wearing the type of earring that was going to bring out her best feature. And I did this last night. I do it every night. Always makes me feel kind of vulnerable, but truly, which side of my face looks better? And that's what I learned, is that I used to do only studs, but that a little bit of a dangle was going to bring out my best features. So if you have a heart-shaped face, you're going to look really good in chandelier earrings. Square faces are the least common and the most immediately likable. If you look at Angie, she has a square face, okay? Immediately, people think square-faced people are just nice. It's like a psychologist told me that at one of my shows, okay? Really fun. And you guys can get away with anything, but you're perfect with a dangle. It's going to soften the jaw a little bit, okay? Now, after I go through all this and show different people what earrings are going to look really cute on them, guess what the biggest story on the runway was? Studs. So they get all the studs. And I'm like, the biggest story on the runway was studs. So, have at it, because everybody's loving their stud earrings too. If you wear crystal next to your face, makes you look well rested. So I show the Vivid, and I say everybody needs the Vivid. Everybody needs a crystal earring because it's going to make you look really well rested. Actually brightens that part of your face, which is really fun. And then my last thing, how am I doing on time?
About 1 minute left.
1 minute left. My last thing I did.
You have 5 more minutes for improvisers, so the booking and as the recruiting seats too.
Yes, exactly. I do a whole bunch of shows for psychologists and psychiatrists. They all knew each other from work, and they were telling me that they recommend to everyone that they wear jewelry. They said when you get up in the morning, put on a little bit of lipstick or lip gloss and jewelry. And they said even if you aren't going to see anybody all day, we catch our own reflection up to 30 times a day. And if you have a little bit of bling on, it has been proven scientifically that it goes right to your bottom line. It makes you feel better. You know, so when you're going by a window or the spoon or whatever, you're gonna see your reflection. It's actually gonna make you feel happier. So I love to share that. And then I do it as I believe in this thing called it's actually a coined word in today's society, immediate gratification. And I believe in having them leave with something so that we seal our deal. Okay? So I pull out my rings at the last. I hide them and I pull them out last. And I go, and now the rings. And I put them, plop them right there. And people go, oh, you know. And I'm like, let me tell you a story about a couple of the rings, you know, and I'll take out Fantasyland and I'll say, this is inspired by Cartier. It looks exactly like the Cartier one, which goes for $38,000. You know, I said it's so amazing. I talk about, again, the expressive zone. I show like how that you can't have too many rings in this day and age, like a half finger, you know, buy them a little smaller, do them half a finger or whatever. I show them the frog ring. I have frog prints, and I love to show frog prints. I'm like, so many girls buy it for like their bachelorette party. So cute. You know, it's like I kissed a lot of frogs, you know, so really fun. Or I go aim it towards a guy, and you're basically saying, I kind of want to jump you. After you get married, I told you no. I could go for the frog jokes on it. But anyway, so when I say, and I want to tell you the Mary Grace special. I go, Park Lane is so incredibly generous. I could go over everything that Park Lane will do for you, but basically, my average hostess, and again, we do private appointments and personal showings, gets $500 worth of free jewelry. It's absolutely obnoxious. I go, but this is the Mary Grace special. So if you decide to have your own private showing or personal appointment, then you get to pick any ring you want from me tonight. And I'll make sure you have it in the next couple days in your size. And then you could be wearing it between now and your showing. So when you're wearing it, people comment on it. You go, oh, you got to come to my finger. You know, it's so fun. So I really found that helps seal the deal. And there's science behind it. Human beings have the law of reciprocity, which means if somebody's handed you something or given you something, you feel like you owe them something in return. So they will hold their shows. They very rarely cancel. Very rarely, because it's almost like a little contract and like a, when you say I'm going to give it to you at your show, there's almost like a mistrust there. But when you say, no, take it now, you know, there's a trust there. And I've really found that works in my favor. So I enjoy doing that.
I mean, of course, when you're at your level, you have to keep a lot of supply of different sizes of rings that they might.
No, I order what they want and I put it on an order. So, and I love, like, if I get 5 bookings, I'll do.
That night you put it on the order.
I'll do, and I even put booking gifts. So the hostess sees that and it's like, wow, you know. And a lot of times I get 5, you know. So I'll do whatever, and then 14, 14, 14 free. Or I'll just work it out, and I make that actually part of the order. So it's an order for the hostess, too. Yeah, now that's my choice, and I know, you know, some people are weird about that, but I do believe that you are part of my lineage, that the more you give, the more you get. And it's definitely worked for me, and I totally make that money back so quickly by the people that I've met and the things that I've done. And especially when you're new, and do we need to do something like that? No, because our hostess program is so incredibly generous. But the fact of the matter is, until you got them in front of it, you know, so even right now where you're like trying to create a buzz, you're trying to pass the word, you're trying to get market recognition, it is such a brilliant thing to do, because it's going to help you get jewelry on people and have them talking about it. And that's what you want to do. Did I say everything? Okay.
And then also how you share the opportunity in your show when you're talking about like little maybe like share the business seeds.
Okay, that I have a tendency to do more one-on-one, but you know, I obviously they can tell I love my job. And I heard people say that just the other day. She was like, too bad you hate your job, you know? And I'm like, I really love my job. And I said, you know, it's just so fun. I do it as little or as much as I want. And I said, you know, you guys, especially, we're all new, okay? I said, we are grossly understaffed in the Missouri area. We are grossly understaffed in the Florida area. We desperately need people to work with us. I said, couple key points, absolutely free to get started. Do it as little or as much as you want. No monthly quotas. I said, now you may not be in the market to get rich, but most of us know people who are. You know, and if you at any time refer someone to me, I will give you $100 worth of free jewelry for the referral. We'll interview them, make sure they're a good mix. See, make them work for it a little bit. You know, make sure they're a good mix. And then what I was telling Rachel last night is a really big part of my day, is I build recruiting calls